Does the nature of digital innovation place cultural heritage institutions at risk of becoming redundant? The rapid development of new technology, specifically virtual softwares and image scanning units, have created a great challenge for cultural heritage landscapes, art galleries, and museums. Digital innovation should be adopted as it has the great potential for the dissemination and exploration of these cultural institutions. According to Warpass, digital technology is used as a means to enhance existing artifacts. Philosopher Walter Benjamin saw a depletion of the aura of original historical works through their reproduction and distribution. The aura in this case refers to the legitimacy of the object's fixed existence. Benjamin urged cultural institutions to push the concept of open innovation. Open innovation is the need for cultural institutions to use technology to enhance their current collections and enhance their market to new audiences. Benjamin also suggested that mechanical reproduction should be introduced to add an entirely new immersive dynamic to the experience of the artworks. An example of this can be seen in Larsen's quote about the reproduction of film and photography. He states that millions of images of the original object are circulated, all of which lack the authentic aura of their source. Open innovation can be introduced to enhance the dissemination of information for people both inside and outside of the organization. Open innovation and mechanical reproduction encourages collaboration with gallery members and the general public. The new ideas shared and explored can be adopted through digitalization to enhance these works. The 10 model can also be adopted as it searches for ways to re-enchant the original collection. This can be done with artist interventions for both curators and professionals. This model can successfully cast off cultural institutions' conventional images and reinvent them as innovative and trendy. This innovation can encourage new audiences to attend exhibitions. Cultural institutions are not becoming redundant because the open innovation theory, mechanical reproduction, and the 10 model enhances visitors' experiences and also enhances the value of the original works. These theories can help remarket the works so that they can still remain relevant. The strength of digital innovation can be seen in the cultural setting in the National Gallery of Victoria. In the recent Van Gogh exhibition, visitors were able to connect to online discussion forums via WeChat and were able to download artwork labels via the NGV app. Van Gogh's works were also enhanced by the adoption of engaging visual movies, and visitors could also interact with Van Gogh's work via tablet devices. The adoption of this digitalization has seen a drastic increase in attendance and interaction. For innovation to work in a cultural institution, Daft and Lengel state that a media richness must be adopted to generate useful information to help recipients improve their understanding of particular topics. A successful example of this can be seen in the Powerhouse Museum. This museum has made parts of their photographic collection available on Flickr via Creative Commons licensing. By being online, the images can be viewed simultaneously from anywhere in the world. In order to stay relevant and contemporary, digital innovation must be integrated into all cultural settings. The use of softwares and image scanning units has seen a great increase in visitor interaction and engagement with exhibits. The use of scanning processes creates digital versions of catalogue data that the files can then be viewed online. Innovation can be seen in the use of visitor interactivity. An effective digital museum needs to be user-centered and provide interactive feedback. This innovation can only work with two-way communication. Interactivity can be broken into the two groups of number 1, human, and number 2, machine interaction. Both categories need to work together in order to remain effective. Digital technology can give historical objects a new lease on life, as only small portions of cultural objects are displayed. These objects remain unredeemed unless a hand or eye from the real world touches them with enchantment or new meaning. An example of digitalization can be seen at last year's exhibit at the Prado Museum. Famous paintings were scanned, then reproduced. Volume and textures were then added to these works to make them 3D, so that people who were visually impaired can see the exhibit. By creating sensory experiences like these ones, more people can be involved with the exhibits. Digital innovation also allows exhibits to become more accessible to not only the public, but also for people with disabilities. Although innovation can enhance engagement and interaction with historical objects, the implementation of technology can be seen to be very expensive, especially for small non-for-profit organizations. In a study that was conducted by the Johns Hopkins University's The Listening Project, organizations were asked to report the implementation of innovative technology programs within the past 5 years. It was found that museums are less likely to introduce innovation, 68 to 82% highest to report incapability to adopt innovation in the previous 2 years of the survey. This incapability is a result of the lack of space and funding needed to implement this innovation. Museum intervention can easily be adopted by institutions and organizations, but this intervention struggles to be maintained over long periods of time. Museum intervention can be defined as a facing tool for institutional critique, once it has achieved its objective of exposing underlying dynamics of power in apparently neutral spaces of presentation and display that seem destined to die out. Due to constantly evolving technology, high color resolution and depth processes are constantly evolving. Therefore, printing and scanning methods are quickly becoming outdated. The rapid rise in technology being implemented into all facets of lifestyle choices has also seen a rise in the concern for museum. Some people view digital innovation as a risk to museum culture, based on fears that printing and virtual simulations are becoming more convincing than the original historical artifacts and objects. In a keynote speech given by the UK Minister of Culture at the 2010 Museum Association Conference, he stated that Renaissance resources are going to be tighter in the future, and they will need to be applied to efficient, imaginative, and innovative museums and cultural settings.